Tito J. Arañas, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Zach. I'm happy to be here with you.
Okay, question number 1. Kung meron ka na lang isang araw para mabuhay sa mundo, how will you spend it?
Kung isang araw na lang, I will definitely want to spend it with my family. We probably will be just sitting around in the house, kwentuhan, tawanan. Kung di naman, siguro pupunta kami, magro-road trip kami to our favorite places. Para na medyo maganda din yung memories. And then, yeah, basically, just spend it with the whole family.
So kung bukas, last day mo na, ano po ang huling hapunan?
Marami yan. Ang huling hapunan ko would probably be tuyo at sinigang. May kasamang banana Q galing sa SM. Tsaka ube ice cream.
Banana Q galing sa SM.
Oh, masarap yung banana Q sa SM.
Ah, very specific
Oo, kasi sa nasa Pilipinas ako, palagi kong pinupuntahan yan. O order ako ng isa, happy na ako nun. At samahan mo na rin ng taho.
Okay, so lahat ng Filipino favorites.
Yeah, kasi yun na medyo namimiss din natin.
Sino si Tito J. Arañas?
Si Jay Arañas, I'm married. Married to Maggie for the past 35 years. And we celebrated our first anniversary last July 1. And we have 4 kids. We have 2 boys and 2 girls. And they all have their partners and married na rin. Kaya, and we have 3 apo. 4 na apo. 2 aso, 2 pusa. Pero silang ano ko, wala pa. Wala pang plano kasi.
Mga balbon na apo.
Mga balbon na apo, yeah. Mga fur babies.
So 35 years married.
35 years.
So if you have one advice sa mga gusto magpakasal o magkakasal pa lang, what would that be?
There's actually one rule. Number 1 is the wife is always the boss. Number 2, if you do not agree to her, remember the first rule.
She is the boss.
She's the boss.
Medyo,
And syempre, communication palagi. You always have to be open to each other and talking to each other and planning together.
so boss siya sa labas ng bahay tsaka sa loob ng bahay o sa bahay lang o kahit saan siya lagi nasusunod.
Syempre, remember the second rule, di ba? She's still the boss.
Okay, so that answers the question. As a businessman, sino po si Tito J. Arañas?
So ako, I'm the owner of Right Education New Zealand Limited. I'm a company based in New Zealand. And basically, my company, what we do is assist people na gustong mag-migrate sa New Zealand. And this is through the educational pathway. And with my business, we've helped a lot of people na din, not just Filipinos. Majority of our clients are Filipinos. Pero may mga ibang clients na rin tayo of different nationalities. Like meron na tayong mga Indian, Sri Lankan, Nigerian, Kenyan, na mga markets.
Kamusta yung buhay mo po sa Pilipinas before you migrated sa New Zealand?
Nung nasa Pilipinas tayo, I was also a business owner. I was a multi-store franchisee sa isang fast food chain. Tapos I was also a distributor ng isang Italian company. So basically, all my life sa Pilipinas, nasa negosyo tayo.
And where did you graduate po?
I graduated from Ateneo de Manila in grade school, high school, college in 1981.
Ano po yung natapos mo?
I took up AB Economics.
Economics. And hanggang ngayon po ba nagagamit mo yung natutunan mo sa Ateneo?
Medyo nagagamit mo din kasi syempre sa negosyo, you have to know fundamentals ng business and at the same time, yung economic theories, minsan nagagamit mo yan.
Sir, Ateneo is a very good and prestigious school. So, because you're in the education business, international education, gaano po kahalaga na mag-aral kung kaya sa isang maganda at prestigious na eskwelahan tulad ng Ateneo?
Siyempre, if you can study in the best universities, kahit saan, not just sa Philippines, anywhere in the world, if you can study sa mga biggest schools or the best schools, that will be to your advantage. Pero, hindi dapat ito maging restriction sa'yo. Na hindi porket hindi ako nag-graduate sa top 3 sa Pilipinas, wala na. It still depends on the person. Kasi, kahit na nangyari, wala ka masyadong, hindi ka nakapag-aral sa mga ganitong universities, pero masipag ka, mahilig kang mag-aral, at talagang you master the skill that you have, magiging successful ka.
Tito J, kailan ka po nag-migrate sa New Zealand?
Nag-migrate kami in 2007. So medyo matagal-tagal na. Pero actually, in 2003, doon namin tiningnan yung possibility of migrating. Pero I never had plans of migrating. Kasi nga, nasa negosyo tayo, okay naman tayo, because my kids were studying at Ateneo and Miriam College. But, yun nga, my friend told me about New Zealand. And at that time, wala naman nakakaalam sa New Zealand eh. Hindi nila kilala yung New Zealand. Kahit na ako, hindi ko kilala yung New Zealand. But we decided to move in 2007.
Tito J, graduate ka ng Ateneo. Ang ganda ng negosyo mo sa Pilipinas. Mr. Donut, ang dami mong stores. Successful ka na doon. Anong nagtulak po sa'yo para mag-migrate sa New Zealand?
Siguro kasi may barkada tayo na may relative siya sa New Zealand. Tapos nagpunta siya. Sinabi nga niya, magmamigrate na siya. Tapos binigyan namin siyang despedida. Pero after 3 months, bumalik siya. Sabi niya, bakit ka nandito ulit? Sabi niya, kasi yung plano niya na pumunta doon para as a tourist, tapos maghahanap ng trabaho, nag-a-apply siya, walang tumanggap sa kanya. Sabi, you have to follow the process. So, sinundan niya yung proseso. Tapos, nakakuha siya ng letter of, nabigyan siya ng invitation to apply. So, nag-apply siya, natanggap siya. Tapos, sinabi niya sa akin, pare, tingnan mo. Kasi, binaba nila yung point system. Before kasi, it was 140 points. Tapos, binaba nila to 100. So, sabi niya, pare, pasok ka sa 100. So, wala naman akong plano. Pero, sabi ko, sige, tingnan natin. So, pag-check ko, pumasok nga ako sa 100 points. So, sabi niya, submit mo na. Pag submit ko, binigyan na ako ng invitation to apply. So, sabi ko, And then, my wife, she wanted naman pala to migrate to Canada. She had plans, but she wasn't telling me about it. And then when I told her na ito, sabi niya, yeah, why not? And akin naman was, I'm not gonna leave everything behind and uproot the whole family if I don't know the place. So what happened was, since my prayer then was, if you want me to go there, Lord, give me a sign. And then my wife called me, sabi niya, Jay, itong airline is giving a buy one, get one free ticket to New Zealand. Sabi ko, So yun. Sabi ko, Lord, if this is the sign, then yeah, I'll take the flight. So nagpunta kami sa New Zealand. And after, we stayed there for 10 days. But on the 3rd day, sabi namin, this is it. This is the place for the whole family. We love the place right away. And from there on, tuloy-tuloy na.
So dumating ka ng New Zealand, 3 days after, nag-decide ka na, dito na tayo.
Yes.
Ano po yung nakita mo sa New Zealand na wala sa Pilipinas that made you stay? Ilang years na po kayo ngayon sa New Zealand?
Since 2007, so 17 years na.
Okay. So ano po yung nakita nyo sa New Zealand na wala sa Pilipinas?
Marami. Number one, the place itself was clean, green, crisp. The weather was nice. Tapos, paglabas namin, ang dami namin nakikita na parang ang laki ng lugar. Tapos wala akong nakikita masyadong mga tao, walang gulo, walang traffic at the time, di ba? And at the same time, when we were in the city, or kahit na doon sa tinira namin, lahat ng tao nakakasalubong namin doon, we're very friendly. Naglalakad kayo gano'n, bigla sabihin, hi, good morning. Ginigreet ka. Tapos merong isang school at the corner. Nandun yung mga bata, naglalaro sa labas. Nung nakita kami, lahat sila kumakaway. Hi, good morning, how are you? I go, whoa, ibang classic experience to ah. Kasi syempre habol din namin is, what will be the environment of our children? So nakita namin, these kids were very happy and friendly. And our experience during that first 3 days was parang napaka-friendly ng mga tao. And it was a very nice environment. And we had a very good feeling of the place.
So sabi nila New Zealand daw, medyo boring kasi puro nature, puro bundok, landscape. Did you feel that same feeling nung dumating kayo doon?
Actually, yeah, no, medyo syempre ibang lifestyle. Kasi kung sanay tayo sa Pilipinas, di ba? Buhay natin, very hectic, you know. Pero pagdating mo doon, totally different. And sabi ko, this is a welcome change. Kasi walang stress. Very relaxed. Sabi nga nila, laid back. So sabi ko, parang mas gusto ko itong lifestyle na to kesa yung sa Manila. Kasi stress ako no, negosyo and all, di ba? Tapos sabi ko, parang looking forward to the future. Will I have a better future here? And yung mga anak ko ba, will they have a better future in New Zealand? And will they enjoy it in New Zealand? And feeling ko was, in the long run, it will be beneficial for all of us. It will be a better country for us.
Ano po yung mga biggest challenges you faced nung nag-migrate kayo sa New Zealand?
Syempre, the biggest challenge there would be, you're a businessman, and then pagdating mo na New Zealand, start from zero. All right? So that was the biggest challenge because you're going to start from the bottom. But I was looking at it more as an opportunity. Kasi if you're at the bottom, there's no way to go but up. Kaya mentality ko noon was, we leave everything behind in the Philippines. Dapat wala tayong dahilan na pagka kunyari, hindi natin nagawa to o hindi ito yung nangyari, madaling sabihin na, uwi na tayong Pilipinas. Hindi pwedeng ganun yung mindset. Mindset is, I will make it in New Zealand. So the biggest challenge that we had there was, number one, I had to find a job. And syempre, ikaw yung business owner. Tapos biglang mag-a-apply ka sa trabaho, ini-interview ka. Pagkatapos yung mga possibility na yung boss ko magiging mas bata sa akin. Or kung hindi, mas marami pa akong alam kaysa sa kanya. Tapos yung magiging boss ko. So that was something that I had, hindi man really challenge, but I had to face it. I had to accept it. That I will be starting from zero. And it's gonna be a totally different environment kasi biglang may boss ako. But that was part of the migration process. Na nakondisyon ko na rin sarili ko na ito yung gagawin natin, ito yung gagawin ko. So I knew I had to start from the bottom.
So did you have other plans just in case yung nag-migrate kayo na hindi mag-work yung plano mo sa New Zealand? Did you have a plan B?
Actually, I don't have a plan B. I only work on my plan A. Because if I had a plan B, I could have easily said, sige, uwi na tayong Pilipinas. Diba? So akin nun was, migrating, it's a life-changing decision. So it has to be fully committed. You have to be ready and you have to make it work. You have to make it work for you and your family. Especially may mga anak ako. So I wanted to be successful for the sake of my children. So there was only plan A. And plan A was, we make things happen in New Zealand so that we can stay, we can get a residency.
So ito yung sinasabi na dapat buo yung loob mo, sir.
Dapat buo talaga loob mo. Kasi you're investing a lot of time, a lot of resources, and syempre, i-uproot mo yung sarili mo at saka pamilya mo eh. So mawawala ka talaga sa comfort zone mo.
And you're only not investing your time and money, you're investing your life into it. Eh.
Definitely. And you have to think long term.
Ano po yung mga culture shock moments mo when you moved to New Zealand?
I remember one incident. Up to now, parang iisip ko palagi yan eh. Sense of discipline. Kasi, nandun ako sa isang bookstore, may binili ako na libro. Pagkatapos, may 2 counters. So may pila, pero 2 counters. So 2 yung nandun na sa counter. Yung nandun sa dulo na customer, umalis na. 5 yung nasa harapan ko. Yung 5 dito, walang gumagalaw. Ako, ang ginawa ko, style Pilipino, sumingit akong ganon, pasok agad ako doon sa kabila. Kasi libre. Pagkita sa akin nung kahera, I'm sorry, but there's a queue. You have to follow the queue. Ako, ha? Ako, okay. Tapos yung 5 nasa harapan ko, nakatawa, we're smiling. So that was a culture shock kasi, ay ko, wow, dito pala they follow rules, there's discipline, and at the same time, meron pang isa na nung sumakay ako sa bus, kasi syempre turista, so pagdating doon sa bus, nakita ko yung mga nasa harapan ko, ginigreet yung driver. Morning driver, how are you driver? Sabi ko, sa atin naman walang ganyan eh, di ba? So pagpasok kong ganun, wala akong sinabi. Tuloy-tuloy ako sa silya ko. Tapos lahat ng nakita kong pasahero after that, ginigreet yung driver. Sabi ko, sheesh, parang mali yata yung nagawa ko. Parang I was not respectful. So sabi ko, okay. Nakita ko ngayon, pagbaba nila, lahat sila, bye driver, thanks driver, see you later driver. Sabi ko, so okay. Sabi ko, pagbababa ko, kailangan ganun din. So pagbaba ko, thank you driver. So that was something different na people here are polite and, they greet you. Sabi ko, wow. So yun ang mga first realizations natin sa New Zealand na something that I really liked.
Relate kasi 'di ba sir sa kunyari sa supermarket, sa SM
Yeah.
o saan man, minsan 'di ba 5 yung kahera, 3 lang yung bukas. Ang haba ng pila. Biglang magbubukas yung dalawa, yung mga nasa likod takbuhan dun sa 'di ba? Sa
Yeah,
next one.
singit-singit lahat, di ba? Yeah.
Pero sa Australia and New Zealand, kung sino yung nasa harap, priority sila na lumipat kung saan.
Yun. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was something that sabi ko, nako, hindi yata pwede itong ginagawa natin.
Wonder ano yung mafe-feel ng mga jeepney driver pagka binati mo sila, good morning kuya. Or thank you kuya pag baba mo, ano.
Siguro maganda yon, di ba? Kasi syempre nagtatrabaho sila under the sun, haba na ng oras nila. A little compliment na, salamat kuya, o ingat ka kuya. Syempre nakakagaan ng loob. Parang na-appreciate ng tao yung ginagawa kong trabaho. So similarly, naisip ko din yon, kung ako yon, masarap din yung feeling na, uy, nare-recognize ako, uy, kilala niya ako, or binabati niya ako. So that is something siguro that we have to really continue and practice. Kaya yun din sinasabi natin sa mga kaibigan natin na dadating sa New Zealand. Ito pag sumakay ka ng bus, i-greet mo yung driver. Sabi niya, ha? Bakit ko i-greet? Because he is doing you a service.
Ano yung mga life lessons mo sa Pilipinas na nadala mo sa New Zealand?
Life lesson, syempre, is number one, syempre, respect for elders. Di ba? Di ba tayo, mga parents natin, and ang isa ko pang palaging during the first few years natin is we always communicate back sa mga family. We ask how they are, kinakamusta, we talk to them. Kasi yon, I think, is one value na you still have to continue, communicating and kumustahin yung mga nasa Pilipinas. Especially mga parents, mga kapatid.
Masaya ka po ba sa buhay mo sa New Zealand?
Masayang masaya. Alright. Kasi nakikita ko yung mga kaibigan ko. Sabi ko, may nagko-comment nga na, parang hindi mo sila kabatch. Parang mas mukhang matatanda sila kaysa sa'yo. Kasi sabi ko, wala ako masyadong stress sa New Zealand. Hindi guys sa Pilipinas, stress silang lahat. So I'm very happy. And I can say this very much then kasi nakikita ko yung mga anak ko. They're very happy also with how their lives how they're doing in New Zealand.
Ano naman po yung mga biggest achievements mo sa New Zealand?
Biggest achievements is, I think my biggest achievement is number one, I was able to bring the whole family to New Zealand and we're all very happy with that. That is something that I will carry. Na talaga sabi ko, this is one major achievement that I've made. Nagawa akong maging maganda yung buhay namin pamilya at lalo na ng mga anak ko. And then, marami pang iba, like let's say sa negosyo nga, marami tayong natutulungan to have a better future in New Zealand.
Do you have any regrets leaving the Philippines to go to New Zealand?
Actually, I have one regret. I should have done it earlier.
Earlier,
Yeah. Had I known na yun nga, ganun pala yung New Zealand, instead of migrating in 2007, I should have done it in 2003 when I went there to have a look-see. Dapat doon pa lang sinabi ko, yes, tutuloy ko na yung New Zealand.
so ilan taong ka po yung nag-migrate kayo?
I'm revealing my age. I migrated late. I migrated at the age of 47.
And you think that's too late?
I think at that time, it was alright. At this time, pwede pa din. Kasi meron tayong mga kliyente na nasa medyo 50s. But I would suggest na at any age, if you feel that you want to do it, do it. Lalo na kung let's say, may family ka na, nag-uumpisa yung family mo, then do it already for the sake of your children.
So, meron po bang age limit para maging permanent or citizen sa New Zealand?
Ang limit to become a resident in New Zealand is 55 for the principal. So if the principal is, let's say, 50, 51, 52, pero yung partner niya is 60, pwede pa rin. So basta the principal has to be age 55 and below.
So kung 54 na sila, nasa Pilipinas pa, they want to migrate.
Mayroon tayong mga ganyang kliyente. Pagka ganung age, nasabi ko, baka gusto mo yung mga anak mo na lang. Because being realistic, if you're going to New Zealand at the age of 54, diba, and you're going to study, you're studying for 1.5 years, wala ka na. Hindi ka naaabot. So, by the age of 50, 51, 52, medyo you have to do it right away. And we have to be sure that you can become a resident. If not, I will tell you, don't do it. Bigay mo na lang sa mga anak mo.
At what point do you think Filipinos should try and migrate to another country?
Dapat siguro tanungin mo sa sarili mo yon na in the next 3 to 5 years, where do I see myself? Here in the Philippines or wherever you are, in the Middle East, for example, or in Singapore, where will I be in the next 3 to 5 years? And will I still be happy with my circumstances, with my situation? And you also have to consider, if you have a family, the future of your children. Will my children be in a better place here or in another country? Kasi in my case, ang decision was basically for my kids, for my children. So these are the things that you should ask. If I'm going to migrate, will it be a better place for me and my family? So anytime is good. But the question there is, am I willing to commit? And am I willing to provide for my whole family in a better place?
Ano yung mga bagay na sana nalaman mo before migrating to New Zealand?
Siguro, kasi yung mga higher paying jobs sa New Zealand, kasi sa New Zealand by the arang bayad eh. Yung mga higher paying jobs doon were the trades. So these were the electricians, the plumbers, yung mga ganon, no? Sabi ko, sana meron akong ganong skill para noon, nagamit ko din, or it could have been an option for me. Kasi nasa Pilipinas tayo, so graduate tayo economics, di ba? Tapos trabaho natin, I worked with the banks before and then I was also in business. Pero nakita ko yung mga high-paying jobs pala sa New Zealand. Yung mga, yung mga nasa trades.
Handyman.
Handyman, mga gano'n, no? Electrician, carpenters, mga ganyan. So sabi ko, sana meron akong ganung skill before I migrated. Para nun, mas marami akong naging opportunities for jobs.
Where is the best city to live in New Zealand?
That is subjective. Alright? Kasi sa akin, anywhere in New Zealand is nice. It's good. Alright? Auckland lang kasi is the most popular city kasi it's not the capital, by the way, pero majority of the people are in Auckland. So sinasabi nila there are more opportunities in Auckland, more jobs in Auckland, but the capital is Wellington. But I've traveled all over New Zealand from tip to tip. And I would say, you can live anywhere in New Zealand kasi may opportunities din naman. Sinasabi nila cost of living is cheaper outside of Auckland. This is true for some cities. Pero for me kasi is, if you're coming in as a new guy in New Zealand, then go where the job is. Kasi you will say, sige, Auckland ako kasi may kaibigan ako dyan, may relatives ako dyan, or major city kasi ang Auckland. Pero kung yung trabaho nasa Christchurch, nasa Dunedin, then go there. Kasi habol natin is pag landing, dapat may mahanap tayong trabaho kagad so that we can become residents. So, and then once you're resident, kahit saan ka na magpunta. Di ba? But of course, depende sa circumstances or situation. Kasi meron tayong mga kliyente na sabi na, can I stay in Wellington because I have family there. I have friends there. Then go ahead. Kasi importante din, pagdating mo, meron kang support group. So, if you want to stay there, yes, go ahead. Kasi meron tutulong sa'yo.
Meron ba mga panahon na gusto niyo na pumuwi ng Pilipinas?
Pag winter. Kasi minsan lamig-lamig, di ba? So gusto mo parang, Pilipinas ngayon, summer. Okay na okay sana, di ba? But it was just basically para magbakasyon lang. Yun lang.
That's it.
That's it.
Walang mga pagsubok na naharap ka na that made you think, maybe I should go back to the Philippines.
That is the number one reason na sinabi ko kanina na when I decided to migrate, there's only one plan, plan A, which is to make it in New Zealand. Kasi pagka ganun yung thinking mo, a little hiccups, a little bump along the way, pwede mo kagad sabihin, ayoko na, uwi na akong Pilipinas. And nakita ko yon kasi meron akong kaibigan na ganun din. Kasi, okay naman sila sa Pilipinas. Tapos, hindi niya nakuha yung gusto niyang trabaho. For him, it was a really big step down kasi bossing siya sa Pilipinas eh. Pagdating sa New Zealand, dito siya. Hindi niya matanggap yon. Hindi rin niya nakaya yung buhay na ako pa maghuhugas ng pinggan ko. Ako pa maglilinis ng kotse ko. Nung hindi niya nagawa lahat yun, he decided to go home. So sabi ko is, kailangan talaga buo loob mo. Kasi ito ang gagawin mo sa New Zealand. So if you cannot handle these things, you cannot change your lifestyle, then don't go.
Same with me, sir. Kaya I'm a big fan of just having plan A. Iba yung having a plan B versus having a safety net eh.
True.
Kasi plan B is a different direction. Safety net is kung di mag-work yung plan A, bumagsak ka sa safety net mo, you can use it as a springboard para bumalik ka sa plan
That's
A.
right, yes.
Diba? Kung hindi nag-work, bumalik ka dun sa safety net, understand bakit hindi nag-work. Ano yung mga bagay na nagkamali ka. And then, learn it and then talon ka ulit back to plan A.
Maganda yung ganyang attitude. And syempre, you're getting out of your comfort zone. You're going to start a new life. So dapat ganun yung attitude. That I will make it happen. That I will make it work. And maganda yung sinabi mo nga, you have a safety net. Bounce back after. Pag nag-plan B ka, iba talaga yung direksyon. So tama yun. Maganda yung suggestion mong yun.
So yung plan B, it's still parang uncharted place eh. So ano mangyayari pag hindi nag-work yung plan B? Magpa-plan C, D ka. But if you spend time dun sa plan A, yes, it didn't work the first time, bumagsak ka sa safety net, diba, aralin mo lang, ba't hindi nag-work? Sino ba yung gumawa ng plan A na naging successful? Maybe I can talk to them, have them as a mentor, para isang beses lang ako babagsak sa safety net ko.
Yeah, especially now na ang dami ng there's so much in the internet and the web resources on how you can succeed, 'di ba? And you have to also consider na I am doing this and I am looking at long term. So, a little problema lang na redundant ka kunyari sa trabaho, that's not the end of the world. 'Di ba? But eyes on the prize. And the prize is I want to get residency and citizenship. Pagka ganun yung direction mo, ganun yung vision mo, ganun yung goal mo, I am sure any hiccups, madali lang yan. Kaya yan. That's part of it.
Sir, successful ka na sa Pilipinas, maganda yung buhay, madaming negosyo, making really good money din. And yung mga anak mo, okay din yung buhay. Ano yung totoong nagtulak sa'yo para mag-migrate sa New Zealand?
At that time kasi, that was 2003, 2007, I already saw na yung mga ibang schools were starting to offer programs, mag-1 year ka abroad. Tapos balik ka ng school mo, di ba? Tapos, a lot of my friends were starting to move na din. Medyo magaganda na yung mga pwesto na maganda yung buhay, but they were moving to or migrating to Canada. Kaya sabi ko, bakit itong mga to? Mas big time pa sa akin. Bakit sila nag-aalisan? And then, why are the schools, like Ateneo for example noon, meron na silang programs na mag-aaral yung estudyante for 1 year abroad. So sabi ko, bakit ganun yung movement? And I said, these guys probably know something that we do not know. So I talked to them, and basically nakita ko sa kanila was, future proof na nila yung sarili nila. Na sabi nila, dito tayo ngayon. But do we stop here? Or is there something better outside? And they saw it. Nasabi, we can have a better life outside of the Philippines. And sabi nga nila, they're doing everything also for the family, for the kids. Eh sabi ko, 4 ang anak ko. If I stay in the Philippines, ang tuition fee ng mga anak ko will be 1 million a year. Sabi ko, 1 million a year, are there jobs for them? Eh at that time, medyo hindi maganda economy ng Pilipinas. Sabi ko, time to rethink and, talk to these people who have migrated and ask them the reasons why because they have seen it already. And they have inputs na hindi natin nakikita kasi nasa Pilipinas lang tayo di ba? So I learned from them and they inspired me na sabi nga nila, Jay, it's all for the kids. Kasi families na kami. It's all for the kids. So sabi ko, oo nga no, 4 ang anak ko. Babayaran ko yung tuition fee nila, but what's in it for them after? And when we decided na, yes, we're doing this for the sake of the children, my happiness was seeing my kids studying in the best schools in the world. Because all the 8 universities in New Zealand are in the top 3% in the world. And they're able to do a lot of things that they could not have done in the Philippines. One of them is nakakapagtrabaho sila part-time. So they were earning their own money. And at the same time, after they graduated, parang ang daming opportunities for them. And yung mga kaklase nila were international, from all over the world. So they have friends from Asia, from Europe, from the US, from Canada, kasi ang daming estudyante sa New Zealand from other countries. So these are the things na sabi ko, if we were in the Philippines, hindi nila magagawa. So for me, ganun dapat, try to see or think of the future. And where do you want to see yourself? If you want to have a better life, then probably it's in a different country.
Pero if you were single, sir, at that year, 2003, binata, bachelor, would you still consider moving to New Zealand or different country?
Alam mo, at that time, siguro hindi. Kasi, okay pa naman yung economy noon. Maraming pwedeng trabaho, di ba? And you're still building your career. So, pwede, may not be the right time. But currently, right now, that was 2003, right? Now, at this year, 2024, all right? If you're single, it is still a good time for you to move. Kasi, open na yung buong mundo eh. Opportunities are all over. I mean, work is not just limited to the Philippines. Ang dami kong kakilala na nakakakuha sila ng trabaho in Europe, in Australia, nabibigyan sila ng job offer. I have a niece who was able to get a job offer in Germany. I have one client na okay na kami, mag-uumpisa na dapat siya, but she got a job offer overseas. So she moved there. So sabi ko, if you're single now, you have to open yourself, not just limited to where you are, but look overseas. Kasi ang daming opportunities for you. Lalo na kung single ka, it's easy to decide. Diba? Ako lang eh. Wala kang cargo. But look overseas because there are a lot of opportunities.
So what I'm hearing is kung pamilyado ka, you can do it for your kids, future ng mga anak mo. Kung single ka, it's a lot easier for you kasi wala ka pang mabigat na cargo, di ba?
Yeah, exactly.
You can jump different countries. Kung hindi ka New Zealand, try Australia, may Canada, may UK. Pero sarili mo lang, tsaka yung bagahe mo yung dala mo.
Ang dali-dali nun eh, di ba? All you need is, grit and determination.
Bakit maganda ang New Zealand for Filipinos to migrate to?
Siguro several things. Number one is work-life balance. All right? New Zealand is known for its work-life balance lifestyle. Pag sinabi natin work-life balance, kasi doon, sa New Zealand kasi, you enjoy your work. Ang sinasabi ko palagi is, you have to work hard, but you play harder. Because you can do so many things in New Zealand for free, and you can do things na hindi mo nagagawa when you're in the Philippines. Even if let's say you have a family. And doon kasi, importante yung family. So, when you're working, sabi nga nung isang estudyante natin, on his first day, tinawag siya nung boss, sabi nung boss sa kanya, alright, if you need anything from me, talk to me at 4 p.m. Because 5 p.m., I'm out of the office because I have to prepare dinner for my kids, I have to fetch my wife, and then we have dinner and all, di ba? So that should also be your style. You have a family, finish 5 p.m., go home, take care of your family. So yun. So that's the work-life balance.
I think magugustuhan talaga ng Pilipino yung work-life balance. Yung totoong work-life balance na even here in Australia and New Zealand na when it says na you'll finish 5, they will push you out. Hey, 5, umuwi ka na. Unless we're working on something that very, very urgent, important. If not, go home. Spend time with your family. Yung shops po ba sa New Zealand, they also shut down ng mga 6, 5?
Yeah, yun nga ang sabi nila, aga naman magsarado ng mga stores sa New Zealand. And that is part of the work-life balance. Alright? Kasi syempre lahat ng mga workers dyan, they also have their own lives to live. They have families or kahit na single, they still have to do a lot of stuff for themselves, di ba? So yun, pagdating ng 6 o'clock, wala na kasi you're expected to have time for yourself. And kahit na ngayon, nyari, winter ngayon dito, di ba? Siguro naman, ayaw mong nasa labas ka ng kalye na ang lamig-lamig, umuulan, madilim, di ba? Gusto mo nasa bahay ka na. So what's the point, di ba?
What are the things we need to know before migrating to New Zealand?
Things you have to know, number one is it's a totally different environment. All right? Culture is different and you're starting from zero. You have to accept that. So you have to be ready in the sense na buo dapat yung loob mo. And syempre, sa New Zealand, iba yung style of living. So kung di ka marunong magluto, mag-aral ka na magluto kasi ikaw magluluto. Kung di ka marunong maglaba, well, sa bagay may washing machine naman, but you have to be doing all these tasks na baka hindi mo ginagawa sa Pilipinas. And at the same time, be excited. Kasi you're going to a new place. It's a good way to explore the city, explore the neighborhood, make new friends, and enjoy it.
So madami kong mga RK. Alam mo yung RK?
Ano yung arcade?
Rich kid. Rich kid friends.
Okay.
Yung mga
Alright.
anak ng politician, anak ng negosyante. Na pagdating nila dito, I asked them, so what did you guys learn in your first year? Sabi nila, well, natuto magluto, maglaba. Wala na kaming driver dito, so I learned how to,
to ride the bus.
yung train, trams, and just become really independent. So sabi ko, that's good. So ano pang natutunan nyo? Sabi nila, natutunan namin na ito pala yung buhay ng 99%.
Yeah.
Kasi RK, they belong sa 1% kasi sundo ni Kuya. Pag uwi nila ng bahay sa Pilipinas, di ba, 2, 3 yung katulong.
Oo.
May tagalaba, tagaluto. Lahat eh. So here, they saw, ganito pala yung buhay. Now, we've been so sheltered sa Philippines, inside our village, inside our exclusive school, na they enjoy it eh. Kasi, yun nga, sabi nila na, I wish nag-move ako dito sooner.
Yeah.
Kasi dito nabuo yung grit ko. This is what actually hard work looks like na hindi lang na-experience sa Philippines kasi everything was spoon-fed eh.
Yes, that's right. Provided for and people there, yung mga na-anticipate na kagad yung needs mo so you don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So ngayon, when I was in Lasal, pag pupunta ako sa bahay nila, daming maids. Kala mo talaga mga anak ng mga hari eh. Pero dito nakita ko sila yung nagwawales, naglilinis, naglalaba. Pagpunta ko sa apartment nila, yung mga sampay nila nandun sa loob. Sabi ko, it's good to see you living a normal life.
Oo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tapos
true.
they enjoy it.
Tsaka huwag mo kalimutan, ikaw din na maglilinis ng banyo.
Mas madali po ba mag-migrate sa New Zealand kaysa sa Australia ngayon, 2024?
Ngayon, actually, it is easier to migrate to New Zealand compared to Australia. Even before naman, mas madali actually sa New Zealand. Kaya lang kasi, the focus was on Australia, not so much on New Zealand. But now, it's easier to migrate to New Zealand kasi for several reasons. Number one, if you have a family, you can actually bring your family with you. And if you're single, marami pa ring opportunities. Like let's say, I think parang may isang tanong sa akin dati was, if I'm on a tourist visa in New Zealand, can I switch to a student visa? Yes, you can. Unlike sa Australia, binago na nila. If you're on a tourist visa, then you cannot. Tapos dito sa sa Australia din, parang preferred nila are those who are below 45 years old. In New Zealand, even if you're 45 years old older, you can. So, and the policies ngayon kasi, it's getting tight, but there's still opportunities for you to come compared to coming to Australia. Kasi, as you very well know, naghihigpit na sa Australia. And even if, let's say, you're going to do the student pathway, in Australia, you have to study for 2 years. In New Zealand, it's possible for you to study for just 1 year. And ngayon, we also have a green list of occupations. Itong green list, ito yung mga professions that we badly need. There's not much people in this industry. So if you're in the green list, you have a straight pathway to residency.
Ano po yung sample ng mga green list na occupation?
So itong nasa green list, these are, let's say, early childhood teachers, primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, engineers, civil, mechanical, electrical, all engineers, tapos mga IT specialists, mga nasa healthcare, yan. Yan ang mga nasa, healthcare would be nurses, all right? Enrolled nurses, mga doctors, yan. They're all in the green list.
They're not, ano pala, ito yung mga trabaho na maybe in 10 Filipinos, 7 sa kanila nurse
Yeah,
or engineers.
yes.
Opportunity is big.
Opportunity is big, right? Kaya hindi masyado nakikita kasi New Zealand. Kasi pag tinignan mo sa migration, the focus has always been Canada, US, Australia, fourth or fifth palagi New Zealand. But these opportunities have been open and yun, yung nakakaalam, they're taking advantage of it. So, yun. So, medyo easier actually to come to New Zealand at this time because of the migration policies.
So kung pangarap ko talaga Australia, pero dahil naghigpit na nga, can I go to New Zealand first and use it as a springboard, get my PR or citizenship, and then go back to Australia?
Yeah, actually, a lot of Kiwis or a lot of Filipinos have been doing that ever since. They come to New Zealand kasi it's the easiest way for them to come, accepted sila doon. And then they have a path to residency and citizenship. And yun, once I got the citizenship, lumilipat dito. My good friend who convinced me to move to New Zealand, siya yung nagpunta dito sa New Zealand as a tourist, tapos bumalik. And then sabi niya, you have to follow the process. So siya yung nag-convince sa akin magpunta na New Zealand. Siya, ang ginawa niya, nung pagkakuha niya ng citizenship, lumipat dito. So sabi nga sa kanya, pambihira ka naman, nagaya ka ng buong barkada, lumipat dito. Tapos iiwanan mo kami. But that is possible. Some of them are doing it. A lot of people are doing it, lalo na may agreement between Australia and New Zealand. Diba? And I also recommended that for my students, my clients. Nasabi ko, you're nurses, so use New Zealand as a springboard to go to anywhere in the world once you're a citizen, because pay is higher outside than New Zealand. But still, get your citizenship first.
Yeah, actually, I have 2 guests on my channel. First is yung naging mentor ko na si Ninong A. And my other friend si Jandy. They both started in New Zealand. And nag-migrate sila to Australia kasi they saw better opportunity. And may mas maraming family and friends sila nandito. So, I guess that's one thing Filipinos can do. Kung gusto mo talaga Australia, there's another way. Mag-New Zealand ka muna and then you can go to Australia.
Yeah, that's true. And it goes both ways. Kasi meron din tayong mga kilala na nandito na sa Australia, alright? Citizen na dito, but then they decided to move to New Zealand because of the lifestyle.
Vice versa.
Vice versa. So yun ang maganda between Australia and New Zealand. Pwede tayo.
Sir, ano yung mga common misconception ng mga nagto-tourist visa sa New Zealand?
Yung iba kasi, may mga relatives or friends sila, sinasuggest, sige, punta ka dito as a tourist. Kasi pag nandito ka as a tourist, pwede ka na mag-apply ng trabaho. So, yun yung mali. Kasi nire-raise mo yung expectations ng tao na pag nagpunta ako ng New Zealand as a tourist, makakakuha ako ng trabaho. But actually, hindi ka makakakuha ng work because you don't have the proper visa. So, kung pupunta ka as a tourist visa, check it out lang, see ano bang openings ang meron. But definitely, hindi ka makakakuha ng work kasi you don't have the proper visa. But look at it as parang punta ka na New Zealand, as a look-see, do I like the place? Ano bang mga openings na trabaho? And then do the proper process. Apply for a work visa or do the student pathway. So merong iba na yun nga, nagpupunta sila na New Zealand kasi plano talaga nila is to study na. So they go to New Zealand, they check out the school, check out the environment, and see if they want it. Kasi minsan may mga options sila na, I can study in Australia. So nanggaling na ng Australia, sabi na, oh, mas gusto ko yata yung lifestyle sa New Zealand than in Australia. So but definitely, if you're coming in as a tourist, please, wag mong gagawing path yun to find work na yun ang thinking mo because ma-frustrate ka.
So, pwede kang tumingin ng opportunity.
Yeah,
Pwede kang tumingin ng trabaho. Ano bang meron dito for me?
for me, yeah.
But you cannot apply for work kasi you don't have the right visa.
That is correct. So, manage lang the expectation na I'm going there to see. But to find work, sabihin na lang natin, swerte-swerte na lang, di ba?
So, paano kung naka-tourist sila, tapos may naghanap sila ng work, tapos may employer na, uy, okay yung resume mo ah. So, they both know na naka-tourist po ako, tapos employer also know na naka-tourist sila. Pwede ba silang sponsoran straight away?
Yes, pwede yun. Masusponsoran sila ng company. Pero for a New Zealand company kasi to give you a job offer, kailangan accredited employer sila. So, pag sinabi accredited employer, then dapat meron din silang ginawa ng labor market test na wala silang makita sa New Zealand na merong skills na yon. Kaya ma-justify nila na kailangan kitang kunin, and that's why I'm giving you a job offer kasi ikaw lang ang merong skills na kailangan ko.
Kasi for me, sir, dalawang uri ng tourist, di ba? Yung unang tourist, yung nagta-travel lang talaga to appreciate the place. Pero mayroong mga turista, nag-tourist visa to see if this is the new home for them.
Yeah. So, dapat ganon. If you're coming in as a tourist, check it out if you want to stay in New Zealand. And then from there, decide if you want to be a student. Kasi, nyari, yung visa mo naman is, let's say, good for 6 months. And then, on the 3rd month, you decide, uy, I like it. I want to stay here. I want to study here. Then, pwede na rin i-apply. But of course, there's no guarantee na you will be approved. Or, baka kailangan, muwi ka muna and then apply when you're back in your home country and then come for the intake of the school.
But just to clarify, the government allows it na from tourist, pwede po silang mag-change ng visa to student.
Yes. In fact, we have several clients na ganun ang ginawa nila.
Mas madali po ba maging international student sa New Zealand kaysa sa Australia?
Actually, madali naman for either countries, di ba? As long as you meet the criteria or the requirements. Sa New Zealand, you need to have, of course, the English requirement. You have to do the academic IELTS or the academic Pearson Test of English. And then, of course, you have to meet also the entry requirements in school, which is kailangan maganda yung grades mo, all right? But it's easy naman to enter for a student visa as long as you meet all the requirements.
So required po ang English test and show money?
Show money, English test is required. Although some schools, pwedeng wala as long as you can prove na nag-aaral ka, let's say, sa US or Canada or Australia or UK, then you don't need an English test. Now, show money, definitely, kailangan yan. That is one of the requirements. And it is 20,000 New Zealand dollars for 1 year of study. So if you're going to study 1.5 years, then you need 30,000
30,000.
New Zealand dollars.
Sa pesos po, mga magkano yun?
So kung 20,000 New Zealand dollars, that's about 700 to 720,000 pesos. And itong amount na to, it has to be in liquid assets for the past 6 months.
Meaning cash po in your bank.
In your bank, it can be in time deposit, in placements, in stocks, in bonds, yan. Basta liquid siya na madali mo siya mawi-withdraw.
And can they have sponsors po? Kunyari may tita sa New
Yeah.
Zealand.
Yeah, of course. You can have sponsors. So yung sponsors mo can be citizens or residents in New Zealand, or you can have guarantors. So yung guarantors naman, this could be your family member, so your parents, your siblings, or relatives. So relatives mo, lola, lolo, tito, tita, cousins. Pero we have to prove your relationship.
Ano po yung big differences ng pagiging international student sa New Zealand compared sa Australia?
Well, the big difference is, number one, right now kasi, in New Zealand, if you do a master's degree or you do a program that is in the green list, you can bring your family with you. So your spouse or your partner is going to be given an open work visa. So the partner can work anywhere. And then your children, if they are of school age, they can study for free.
For free.
for free in a local school.
Yung partner po, yung work limitations, is it full-time, part-time?
It's open. So you can work full-time, part-time, contractual,
One to sawa.
one to sawa.
Wow.
Yeah. Dito kasi sa Australia, di ba, you're not able to bring your family right away with you. In New Zealand, you come in with the whole family.
Isang biyahe.
Isang biyahe. In fact, last Thursday, meron tayong dumating na client, yun, kasama niya yung wife niya, right? Although they still don't have any kids, kasama na yung wife niya. A few weeks ago, may dumating tayong family. So the wife was the student. The husband got the work visa, open work visa, and then yung kids nila are now studying in a school in New Zealand for free. So
Wow.
they came in on a Tuesday. We went to the school on a Wednesday. The Monday after, the kid was in school na.
Ngayon na mas mahirap na maging international student sa Australia, do you think New Zealand is the new solution?
It is an option, all right? So, yes, it can be an option if you meet all the requirements. And of course, ang kailangan lang talaga doon is you have to have the academic requirements, you need to have the financial requirements, and consider din yung health because you have to do a medical. But yeah, definitely I think it's easier to study in New Zealand than in Australia at this time.
Ano naman po yung mga work hours ng international students sa New Zealand?
All right, so yung mga international students, they can work for 20 hours a week during the school term. Pero on term breaks and summer, they can work full-time.
Almost similar lang sa Australia.
Similar lang. Pero dito kasi I think you can work
24
24 hours, di ba?
Yeah.
So New Zealand, it's only 20 hours.
Before naman, yung dumating ako dito 2014, 20 hours. Buti nga ngayon nag-increase na ng extra 4 hours
Yeah.
a week. Sa
I think
20.
during the pandemic kasi, that was when they increased it to 24.
Yeah.
Kasi ang hospitality industry noon did not have enough workers.
Pwede po ba dalhin ng international student yung family nila sa New Zealand?
Yes, you can. But depending on what program you will take. If you will study a master's degree or a PhD, then you can bring your family with you. If you are also in the green list of occupations and you study a program in that green list, you can also bring your family with you. So ang mangyayari, so yung principal is the student, and then the spouse or the partner is going to be on an open work visa. So ito, pwede siyang magtrabaho, full-time, part-time, casual, alright? And yung mga anak nyo of school age, so that's 5 years old to 17 years old, alright? They can study, or 18 years old, they can study in a local school for free.
Absolutely free.
Free. Babayaran mo lang yung uniform.
Baon.
yung baon. And syempre, the schools ask for a donation. So yung donation, bahala ka na kung magkano gusto mo i-donate.
Ano po yung best PR pathway for international students in New Zealand?
Alright, so the best actually right now is yung nasa green list of occupations. Kasi if you're in that group of occupations, then you have a straight pathway na maging residente. So let's say, yun nga, no, if you're into early childhood, engineering, IT, healthcare, ito yung mga may straight pathway. However, kung wala ka dito sa green list of occupations, studying is also one option for you kasi pwede ka naman doon under the skilled migrant category visa. So it puts a premium on studying. Kasi ngayon, ang skilled migrant category visa is only 6 points. So yung 6 points na yon, if you study a master's program, you get 5 points right away. So 1 point na lang ang kulang mo. So you can get that 1 point if you work with an accredited employer for 1 year and you're paid the median salary or above. Then you can get the 1 point and then yun, you are now qualified kasi you have the 6 points.
Bakit po mas okay mag-migrate sa New Zealand instead of Canada, USA, UK, or Australia?
Ang ano ngayon dyan kasi is, di ba, sarado na si Canada. Ang Australia, medyo nagsasarado na din. Alright, UK is still open. Alright, US, well, for a lot of people, they don't want to go to the US anymore. So, an option is New Zealand. So mine kasi is where it is easier for you to attain your goal of getting residency, then I think you should consider it.
Magkano po usually yung tuition fee ng international student sa New Zealand?
It will depend on what program you will take, all right? Because I have all the 48 schools, I have all the universities, the polytechs, and private training establishments. So if you're going to study, of course, sa mga universities natin, then syempre, medyo they have a premium on the tuition fee. A master's program there can be from about 50,000 New Zealand dollars and above for the whole program. Now, a similar program with a polytech could be about 40 to 50K. With a private training establishment, it can be about 35 to 40, 45. All right. So it depends on the program that you will study. Then we have the option. So depending ngayon kung what's your budget or what is your objective in studying that program. So we have options. So maraming sa mga clients natin, they really want to get a good program. So they study with the universities. And yung iba naman, syempre limited yung budget, then we just match what budget you have with the program and with the schools.
How about yung mga vet courses po?
So yung mga ganun, mga vet courses, meron ding available but they're lower levels like level 4, level 5, level 6. So they're cheaper or more economical than of course doing a postgrad study. So, pero yun lang, if you're doing the vet courses, there may not be any work rights after you finish the program.
Kaya po ba mag-survive ng international students sa New Zealand considering the tuition fee and high cost of living?
So far naman, sa mga estudyante natin, mga kliyente natin, wala naman sa kanilang pumapayat, wala naman sa kanilang nagugutom.
Bata-bata pa.
Nakikita ko pa nga gumigimik pa, nagro-road trip pa. So, yun. But definitely, if you're earning only so much, then dapat siguro change in your lifestyle as well. Siguro hindi ka naman pwede mag-Starbucks every day, 2 cups of Starbucks every day. Hindi ka naman pwede kumakain siguro sa labas araw-araw. You still have to cook your own food, budget, right? Cost of living, tinanong ako, paano ba yung cost of living? Yeah, it's a bit high kasi everywhere naman tumaas yung cost of living. But syempre, you have to adjust.
Ano naman po yung average income ng mga international students sa New Zealand?
For international students, ang minimum wage actually is $21.30 per hour. All right, so times 20 hours, so more or less that is going to be your income. But that's on minimum wage. Meron naman tayong mga clients kasi who are earning more than the minimum wage. Some companies are offering them 25, 26. So yun, so may budgets, medyo nakaka-save ka ng konti. But definitely, itong part-time job mo, you will not be able to save that much. So, yung mga iba nagtatanong sa akin, pwede ba ako magpadala ng pera sa pamilya ko sa Pilipinas? Usually, sabi ko, kung yun ang income mo, baka wala.
Ano po yung mga pinaka-common na trabaho ng Pilipino sa New Zealand?
Alright, pinaka-common, itong sa part-time job, you mean?
Anywhere. In what comes to mind?
Alright, so pag part-time job, so usually, nasa hospitality, nasa retail. Alright, so yun ang dalawang maraming available work for students. Like yung isang estudyante natin na dumating last week, nakakuha agad siya ng part-time job as a dishwasher sa isang restaurant. Sabi ko, okay yun. Kasi kung nasa restaurant ka, minsan libre na rin ang food mo. So we had students na naging waiter, naging dishwasher, naglinis sa hotels. Alright? So these are the ones na madaling makahanap ng work. Meron din mga barista. So be open lang. Alright? Na be open to do whatever job is available. Like meron tayong isa na nakita niya opening was security guard. Pero night shift. Stationary lang. Nakatayo ka lang the whole night. So, sabi niya, okay na rin to kasi wala akong mahanap na part-time and it was paying well. So, he did that.
Kasi may night difference, di ba?
May night difference eh. So, yun.
Ang kalaban mo lang doon, antok.
Antok.
Nakatayo ka lang.
Nakatayo ka lang. Stationary ka lang. I mean, you're just there in that building. So, yun. But it was an opening and he took it.
That's good for him.
Yeah. And ang ano ko din kasi sa kanila is you really need to find part-time work because it is a chance for you to network. Kasi makikita mo na, ganito pala magtrabaho sa New Zealand. And syempre may mga kasama ka sa workplace. So these guys can also be your connections later on in full-time work.
Meron po bang scholarships for international students sa New Zealand?
Yes, yun ang magandang balita doon. There are scholarships available. So number one, meron tayong schools that are offering scholarships from 5,000 to 10,000 to 11,000 based on your academics. Alright? So kung medyo magna summa cum ka or dean's lister ka during your bachelor's degree, you are qualified for scholarships. So marami tayong students na meron ganon, nakakuha kagad sila ng scholarships. Straight from the tuition fee, minus kagad. They don't need to apply for the scholarship. Now, several schools, you have to apply for it. So, depends now on your performance when you're in school na. Meron din tayong mga schools na alam nila yung mga Filipinos were very good. So, what they do is they give scholarships for Filipinos based on your passport. Right? So, automatic. If you're a Filipino, you can get 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 scholarship. So, there are scholarships available.
Dahil lang Pinoy ka.
Dahil Pinoy ka.
Wow. Special.
Special. Kasi alam nila, mga Filipino students, we're very good, they're very good. Talaga nag-aaral, nag-a-attend ng klase. So, nire-reward nila because they know mga quality students tayo.
So, ma-share ko lang nung bago ako ditong student. Kasi dun sa Lasal, kasi scholar ako eh. I really studied well. Sineryoso ko lahat kahit simpleng lang yan, essay or something. So yun yung naging student ako dito. Kasi lang siya eh, Cert 3, Cert 4, Business and Marketing. Yung simple activity na essay, I would spend hours research ko, sinabit ko dun sa teacher. Sabi niya, this is very well written. I also noticed that you spent 3 hours, but your classmates who's been coming here for 1-2 years, they only spent 15-20 minutes. Sabi niya, are you okay? Sabi ko, what do you mean, am I okay? Tapos, yun, binulangan ako ng mga classmate ko na, Zach, this is a vet course. Na yung mga teachers dito, they expect us to submit yung essay, but, they don't expect us to really, parang to study well, na parang college sa Pinas. Sabi ko, ganun ba? Kasi sabi ko, I'm here to learn eh. Sabi ko, if I'm gonna do this, nagbabayad na ako ng tuition, ayokong pasukan lang siya.
Yeah.
I want to really study kasi this is for my future din naman. Pero maybe that's one of my culture shock na, okay, ganun pala dito. And then my cousins na lumaki dito, nakita ko final exam, naka-open book, open computer, na pwedeng may kodigo, legal. Sabi ko, tama ba yan? Sabi nila, yes, we're allowed to. We are encouraged to.
Yes.
Pero sa Pilipinas, sumilip ka lang konti sa libro,
Bagsak ka na.
either bagsak ka, expel ka pa. So, yeah, that's why I understand the Filipinos talaga kasi we really put a lot of effort. Siniseryoso natin yung pag-aaral kasi not everyone can afford to access.
And if I may add lang, marami nga tayong mga estudyante na when they finish the program, they're getting excellence, they're getting first-class honors, merits. Nasabi nga nila, tito, nung nasa Pilipinas ako, hindi naman ganito yung mga grades ko eh. Sabi ko, kasi nag-mature ka na. So, ngayon, nakita mo that everything is at stake. Because you have to graduate from your program para nun, makastay ka sa New Zealand. So now, you're really serious because your future is at stake.
Yeah.
So you do well. And bonus nga nila, parang, wow, I can put it in my CV na, uy, I graduated first honors with excellence, with merit. So yeah.
Na dati row 4 sila sa Pilipinas.
Na dati, CD lang ang grades nila.
CD. Yung mga nawalan ng pag-asa pumunta ng Australia dahil sa changes sa immigration, mas madali na po ba sa kanila na mag-migrate sa New Zealand?
For me, don't lose hope. Look at the options. All right? New Zealand is one of them.
Tito Jay, ano yung mga typical na libangan ng mga Pinoy sa New Zealand?
Marami. Marami. Mga Filipino, marami. Because, syempre, kung bago ka doon, di ba, the place is new. So, explore ka. You can always go to the city, go to the tourist spots, alright? Pero yung mga libangan, may mga tayo doon. May mga sports groups, sports activities. Maraming basketball groups dyan, mga tournaments, papa-tournament iba. Meron din volleyball. Like ako, I'm the manager for the Hitters Volleyball Club. ng mga puro Pilipino, mga laki na doon, mga bago, mga estudyante. So they have weekly trainings. So maraming, depends on your interest, maraming grupo. Tapos marami din dyan yung nagja-jogging, nagba-biking, nag-hiking, because these are all for free. Alright? So yun, marami kang pwedeng gawin. And syempre, kung ano yung interest mo, I'm sure there's always a group available for you. So libangan would be gimmicks, biyahe kayo, road trips, and marami ring activities sa mga Pilipino. Alright? Just like no Independence Day, so merong one-day fair, maraming food na nandun, may beauty contest, beauty pageant I mean, may mga shows, so cultural shows nandun, and then every Labor Weekend, which is the third Sunday in October, so long weekend yon, Filipinos gather. Alright? Nagmo-move yan from city to city. So it's one big event kasi sports fest yan. So maraming tournaments, basketball, volleyball, darts, meron pa darts, billiards, golf. Tapos may mga activities din. So people gather and ang daming food, syempre. Right? And usually pagka nagkaroon ng palarong Pilipino, mga 15,000 Filipinos ang nag-a-attend.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really one major event na napakasaya kasi ang daming Pilipinong nandun. Tsaka, yun nga, maraming pagkain. Tapos mayroon din, like let's say, yung Sinulog. So we celebrate Sinulog din. So marami rin nagpupunta doon. Tapos marami na rin mga local events sponsored by Filipino groups.
So hindi ka masyado ma-homesick or maiinip, sir?
Hindi naman. Hindi ka maiinip in the sense na marami kang pwedeng gawin. Alright? Pero syempre, being realistic, syempre sa pagbago ka doon, may konting homesickness kasi wala ka pa masyadong kakilala, wala ka pang grupo. So, may konting homesickness. But after that, enjoy ka na.
Pwede po bang gamitin yung Philippine license para mag-drive sa New Zealand?
Yun ang maganda din. If you have a Philippine license, it is valid. You can drive in New Zealand for 1 year from the date of your entry. Kaya lang, pag nasa New Zealand ka, right-hand drive ang kotse. So we drive on the left side of the road. So opposite sa pag-drive mo sa Pilipinas. Kaya I would suggest kung magda-drive ka doon, make sure alam mo yung road code para safe ka and safe din yung mga ibang tao.
Yung mga aspiring international students na hindi kaya mag-Australia or New Zealand, are there other countries na pwede nilang subukan?
Marami. Kasi syempre yung iba doon, hindi kaya yung Australia, New Zealand. So we have other options available for them. And depend ngayon kung ano yung kakailanganin mo. Because we also have in Canada, we have in Europe. So pwede nating pag-usapan. Although syempre, pagka itong mga ibang countries na to, iba-iba yung requirements din.
Ano po yung mga services ng Right Education?
So with Right Education, all right, we do everything for you. All right? So from point to point, or let's say from the start of the process until you need us in New Zealand, we are there for you. So ano yung mga ginagawa namin? So if let's say you want to inquire, then you send us your CV, we assess your CV, and then I have a free consultation with you. We have a Zoom meeting. Para nun, I can show you your options and you can ask questions as well. And then from there, if you'd like to move forward, then we handle your application with the school. So we get your offer of place from the school, and then once we have that, then we start now the immigration process. So we will get the documents that we need para we can apply for your student visa or for your spouse's visa or and also for your children. And we do this through my barrister and licensed immigration advisor. So we have a team who handles all these. And then pag nakuha na natin yung visa mo, then we look now for accommodations for you para pagdating mo na New Zealand, meron kang matitiran, meron kang matutulugan kagad. Alright? And aside from that also, we will see you at the airport because syempre, alam namin yung feeling mo na paglabas mo ng bagong bansa, bagong country, wow, saan ako pupunta? So we will be there when you arrive, and then within the first week, we will make sure na settled ka because we will guide you on opening your bank account, getting your library card, your bus card, and we also provide you also with your SIM card And syempre, we'll guide you along the way. Kung kahit na groceries, so sabihan namin kung ano yung mga kailangan mo. And then we'll also give you tips. And later on, if you still need us, we are definitely there from you. But syempre, yung pastoral care namin is we also monitor how you're doing. So we meet regularly, we talk, we have coffee, and then I will introduce you also to our students who are, let's say, studying the same school or doing the same program. Or yung mga tipong may common interest kayo. I will introduce you to them para nun, medyo settled ka kagad.
So, alagang-alaga, sir, from start, application ng paper hanggang pagdating sa New Zealand, hanggang ultimo, saan ka titira, possible work, pabili ng groceries, to really, make them comfortable and make them feel at home.
Yes, that's what we do. Kasi syempre nag-migrate din ako. And these are the things na sabi ko, uy, hindi ko yata alam to. Or paano ko malalaman yung info na to. So we are there. I'm there for you every time. And like last year, we had a Christmas party for all our clients. So yun. And then I traveled then to all the cities kasi we have students all over New Zealand. So I travel regularly there para nun makamusta ko sila and see that they're achieving the goals that they have set in coming to New Zealand.
What is the easiest way to migrate to New Zealand?
The easiest way is actually through the student pathway by studying. Kasi if all your documents are complete, you can be in New Zealand this year.
Gano'ng kabilis, sir? Kunyari, I have everything
Yeah.
right now. Nasubmit ko na sa inyo. Ilang linggo, ilang buwan?
Okay, so getting your offer for the school would take about 1-2 weeks. And then once it's complete, then you have the documents na, you have your financial documents. My team will review it. And then ilalodge natin. But depends now on your intake date. We need to budget 2 to 3 months for the visa processing of Immigration New Zealand. So kunyari ang intake mo is this November, right? Then dapat by August, inaayos na natin ang papers mo for lodging with Immigration New Zealand. So we need 2-3 months, but safe is 3 months before your intake date.
So overall time frame, we're looking at 3-4 months?
For the visa processing,
Yeah.
yes. But of course, depending ngayon, yung school application kasi, yun, madali lang naman yung school application. But your gathering of the documents na kailangan, yun ang depends on how soon you can give us all the requirements.
So, Tito Jay, bakit parang tito talaga yung tingin sa inyo ng mga students na natulungan nyo sa New Zealand?
Kasi sinasabi ko sa kanila sa start, don't call me sir. Kasi sa New Zealand, first name basis. So sabi ko, tawagin niyo akong Jay. Pero siguro dahil sa puting buhok ko, hindi sila komportable. So sabi, Tito, okay lang ba if I call you Tito or Kuya? Sabi ko, kayo bahala. You can call me Kuya, Tito, basta wag lang Lolo. So nag-stick yung Tito. Mas komportable sila calling me Tito.
And you also became there. Parang tito na din talaga.
Yeah, so yun nga mga nandun na mga kliyente natin, talagang they've been calling me Tito ever since. And then siguro na-strengthen yun when they came over kasi nakita nila everything was seamless for them. And we were always there to support them. Kaya even yung mga anak nila, sinasabi, that is Tito J. Alright, that is not Lolo J. You call him Tito J.
Alright, Tito Jay, what's so special about Right Education? Bakit parang kayo yung most successful education company in New Zealand?
Hindi naman tayo most successful. Marami namang kumpanya sa New Zealand and they're actually bigger than us. Alright? Siguro ang advantages lang natin are, number one, I am based in New Zealand. So, syempre, if you're coming to New Zealand, it would be good na merong sasalo sa'yo pagdating mo, di ba? Because some of the agents, they're in the Philippines, pero minsan, they cannot provide the service that we do kasi they're not in New Zealand. And of course, number two is we provide pastoral care. So I think these are the two things that are most important kasi pagdating mo sa New Zealand, andun tayo and we guide you when you're in New Zealand.
So usually po pag approve na yung visa, tapos nakadating na sila sa New Zealand, bahala na sila sa buhay nila. Bakit po kayo nag-offer kayo ng ongoing support o yung pastoral care na tinatawag?
Kasi nag-migrate din tayo and I can also see from people who are coming to New Zealand over the years na yun nga, ito yung kailangan nila pagdating sa New Zealand. Kasi even mga kilala natin na nagpunta ng work visa, pagdating nila New Zealand, hindi nila alam kung ano gagawin. So we anticipate already what you will need That's why we provide all these services or all these assistance sa'yo para nun maging madali ang transition mo sa New Zealand. And ang importante din kasi is the support group. Kung wala kang support sa New Zealand, you'll be at a loss. And so we provide all these support mechanisms para nun maging madali ang stay mo sa New Zealand and you will enjoy New Zealand.
Ang ganda nun kasi even nasa Pilipinas ka nga, di ba, lumipat ka lang ng ibang city. Kunyari, kung laking Cebu ka, probinsya ka, or laking Davao, nag-move ka sa Manila, parang it's a whole new world, di ba? Mas
That's right.
busy, iba yung sistema. What more pa kaya? Pumunta ka na ibang bansa, iba yung language, iba-iba yung kulay ng tao, iba-iba yung culture.
Yeah.
So you actually need that ongoing support.
Tsaka syempre, pag nandun ka na, marami kang tanong, marami kang new beginnings, di ba? So, like mga last week lang, sabi ng isa sa akin, Tito, kailangan ko nang bumili ng kotse. Meron ka bang marirekomenda? Sabi ko, yeah. I'll talk to these guys. Simple as that.
Connections.
Connections. We have the network.
Yeah, good connections. Hindi lang
Good
basta
connections.
connection.
Yeah, good connections.
Do you also help international students to find work in New Zealand?
Yan, we do. If we are aware that there are job openings, then we inform you. So part-time jobs, ginagawa natin sa part-time jobs, syempre we have a right family. So we ask them, hey, you guys, meron ka bang alam na job openings? Kasi ito, bagong dating. So we ask our right family if they know and natutulungan natin. In fact, last week, yung dumating na isa, sinabi niya, Tito, gusto ko mag-Starbucks, mag-barista. Sabi ko, sige, kausapin mo si Raul. Kasi, yan, dun siya nanggaling, nag-part-time sa job. So, he was able to introduce the guy to Starbucks. Alright? Tapos, we do help as much as we can, but we cannot guarantee. Alright? Kasi, syempre, at the end of the day, it's you who is facing the interviewer. So, but we lead you, we guide you. If we know of anything, we inform you.
Do you also help international students find accommodation in New Zealand?
Definitely, yes. Kasi once we know na meron ka ng visa and then we know when you're going to arrive, we will already look for accommodations definitely for you. Kasi nga gusto namin is pagdating mo, meron ka ng accommodations, di ba? So like in our case, for example, all our students, I inspect properties, I check the room, I check the surrounding area, I check who your flatmates will be. Because I want it to be a safe environment for you. And yung mga kasama mo yung mga professionals or mga students din. And it's going to be a good place for you. So, like right now, we have several places or houses na doon nagsistay lahat ng clients natin. They're flatting with each other. So maganda yon kasi kasama mo, kapwa Pilipino, mga estudyante din. Some of them are working na din. So you get a lot of inputs from them. You get a lot of assistance from them.
Do you remember a client or international student na kliyente mo na hindi mo makakalimutan?
Marami. Marami. There's so many because when I think of the journey that they had in coming to New Zealand and the success they had after, parang for me, that's rewarding and I'm very grateful that, I met these clients, I met these friends. Kasi it gives me a different perspective in life na ito pala, this could be my calling or my mission to help others, to help other people attain their goals in life.
Ano yung mga common problems ng Filipino migrants in New Zealand?
Migrants or students? Or
General.
general? Sa mga kliyente natin, sa family natin, right family natin, the usual, or rather the migrants in general, no? I guess there are 3 things na palaging nangyayari. Number 1 is homesickness. Hindi mo siguro maiwasan yon kasi syempre, lalo kung nag-iisa ka. So pagdating mo doon, ikaw lang, pamilya mo nasa Pilipinas, di ba? So homesickness is the first thing. The second one is adjusting to your new role. Diba? Whether it's work or student. Kasi iba yung environment. So for the student, imagine, manager ka sa Pilipinas, diba? Big boss ka. Pagdating doon, mag-aaral ako, I'm going to hit the books again. I'm going to study. So that is the second adjustment that they have. And iba rin yung educational system. Kasi sa Philippines, di ba, we're in the American style of education. But in New Zealand, it's the British style of education. And because you're taking a postgrad or a higher level, then you have to do a lot of reading, a lot of studying, a lot of research. So that's the second difficulty or adjustment ng students. And then the third one, of course, is what is my future here? So marami minsan nagda-doubts, mga what if. Di ba? You can't remove that. But ang sinasabi ko palagi sa kanila is, be excited. Don't look at it na, yikes. Di ba? Paano to? But rather, what can I do to get that? So yun yung pinapalaging inano ko sa kanila. You have to change your attitude. You have to change your beliefs. In the sense na you have to be positive. You have to be aggressive. Kasi things will not be given to you. So you have to be positive, aggressive when you're in New Zealand na. So these are the three things.
Add ko lang, sir, yung mga nasa New Zealand na or Australia. Pag nandito ka na eh. Di ba? There's no point of thinking na what if hindi mag-work. And millions of Filipinos dreaming where you are right now. Nakatapa ka na sa Australia, New Zealand, o kahit saan man, Canada, US. And here you are thinking na bumalik kaya ako ng Pilipinas. Ang hirap yata. So, balik ka ng Pilipinas and experience again how difficult it is to live there. Sabi nga nila, if you were born or you're in a first world country, 50% of your problems are already solved.
Yeah.
Kasi you have, especially Australia, New Zealand, safety, government, I would say it's less corrupt.
Yeah.
Diba? And diba, ang presko ng hangin, quality of food. And you can drink water from the tap.
The top. Yeah.
Diba? Sa Philippines, laki ako ng Maynila, ng Valenzuela. We always have filter,
Filter, yeah.
or umu-order ka dun sa dun sa water station. But dito, those, simple things
Yeah.
na basic necessities solved na. So, you can really focus on, work opportunities.
Yes. Tsaka ano din talaga, that's what we have to stress to anyone migrating. Not just in Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada. Eyes on the prize. Why are you doing this in the first place? Diba? So yun, eyes on the prize. That's it.
My mindset, Jan, sir, is you already won the war.
Yeah.
Nanalo ka na. You're just going through the process of winning. So pag ganun yung mindset mo, okay na ako eh. I'm just going through the process of winning. Na ano man yung challenges mo, nahihirapan ka maghugas ng pinggan, nahihirapan ka mag-stock ng groceries, it's just part of the of winning eh.
Yeah. And similarly, ang ano mo rin kasi doon is, if you're still there, you'll be doing the same thing. Diba? If you're here, then you'll be doing the same thing that is required in that country.
True. Pero in New Zealand, pwedeng barista ka, pero yung sweldo mo, katumbas ng manager sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Dito part-time ka pa. Di ba? Less stress. Doon full-time ka na. If not the same, baka mas mababa yung sweldo. Tapos may traffic commute ka pa kung taga Maynila ka. So, mamili ka, di ba? So, mas gusto mahirapan.
Tsaka ang akin is, you made that decision. You invested time, resources. Work on it. Make it happen. Kasi, nasa sayo eh.
Tito Jay, advice to Filipinos who are planning to migrate to New Zealand.
Alright, my first advice is, kailangan buo loob mo. You have to commit. Because you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to invest time and resources. So commit. Once you've committed, things will just fall into place. Alright? And syempre, what is your long-term goal? Yun ang kailangan mong maayos before you migrate. You have to commit and think of your goal, why you're doing it.
Advice to Filipinos na bago pa lang sa New Zealand.
Pag bago ka lang sa New Zealand, be excited. Alright? It's a new place. So, kailangan discovery mode ka dyan. So, be happy because you're there already in New Zealand. It's a better place from where you're coming from. So, be happy, be excited, have a sense of wonder and awe. And at the same time, ask for help. Whenever you need anything, just ask. Yung simple lang, kunyari, sasakay ka, kunyari, hindi mo alam kung saan yung kalye. May nakita kang kiwi nandyan. Don't be afraid to ask. Excuse me, can you help me? People there are friendly and helpful. So just ask. Bago ka eh.
Advice sa mga Filipino na gusto mag-start ng business sa New Zealand.
All right, it's very easy to start a business in New Zealand. I put up this company in just 10 minutes, right? With minimal capital. It's very easy. But of course, syempre, kailangan pinag-aralan mo na, is this going to be a good venture for you? What are the requirements? What are the legal requirements? And at the same time, are you willing to sacrifice? Kasi syempre, as usual, it's a startup business. So do you have everything available to make it succeed?
Advice sa mga gustong maging international student sa New Zealand.
If you want to be an international student in New Zealand, it is possible for you. You can consult me. I do free consultation. And at the same time, tingnan mo ano talaga yung gusto mong gawin when you move to New Zealand. Because it is possible na mag-career shift. All right? But think of what do you want to do in New Zealand as far as studying and working later on.
Advice naman sa mga international students na kakadating lang ng New Zealand.
Kararating lang sa New Zealand, number one, don't forget, your objective is to pass your program. That is your visa requirement. You need to pass. So what you have to do is time management because you have to study for 20 hours a week. For the school is about 20 hours a week. And then you have part-time job pa for 20 hours a week, and you also have family concerns, diba? So time management is important. So ang suggestion ko for a student is make sure that you meet the academic requirements.
Advice sa mga successful Filipinos in the Philippines who are thinking of migrating to New Zealand or Australia.
I would always say migration is not for everybody. If you're happy where you are, fine. Diba? Why migrate? Now, if you're happy in the Philippines, wherever you are, and you think there's something more for you, then consider migrating. Because you can actually do more stuff and you have more opportunities for you and your family in a different area or different country.
Hindi kasi dahil successful ka na sa business in the Philippines or any other place, that doesn't mean you're happy. Diba, ang dami kong na-meet na-interview ko din, successful people on my podcast, na there's something missing. And yun nga, some of them, they found that missing happiness sa ibang bansa, either New Zealand, Canada, or Australia. And you will feel that happiness when you get to the top pag successful ka na. Once you solve the money problem, parang, wait, nasolve ko na yung money problem but parang may kulang pa. So maybe that's a time for them to look for a new home.
Yeah. And you mentioned success, diba? So how do you measure success? So if you think you're successful in this area, but in this area, baka not yet, then go for it.
Advice to aspiring entrepreneurs who don't know where to start, either nasa Pilipinas, Australia, or New Zealand.
If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, then obviously you have to know what kind of business you'd like to enter into. Diba? That's basic, I think. You have to know where you would like to perform or what industry you would like to be in. And then do the homework. There's nothing, you have to do the pencil pushing to see that this business is going to work. All right? I guess yun ang ano palagi doon. What are you passionate about? It's useless going into a business that you're not really excited about. But if it's a business that you're passionate about, then you will make sure that everything works.
Tito J, you are a successful businessman. You're also a dad. You're also a tito sa karamihan. How important it is to have a mentor or coach or someone that you can just ask questions, ask for guidance in your life?
It is very important because you're learning from their experience, you're learning from their failures, you're learning from their successes. You have a roadmap that you can follow so that you can attain your business goals. I had a business before, right? When I was still in the Philippines, before I did this franchising, I was in the export business. I was exporting rattan furnitures because previous to that, I was in the shipping business. I was the branch manager for a shipping company. So I had contacts. I had the buyers. But I put up an export company. I was exporting, but I was still very young. I did not have any mentors. So everything was based on my current knowledge. Na ko, this would be the best solution for this. But that was very difficult because I was learning things by myself. And it was capital intensive. All right. So sabi ko, I didn't have a mentor at the time. So if you're thinking of doing a business, yes, get a mentor. Especially now, ang daming resources available. And a lot of people are willing to help you. So take advantage of this because at least you can be assured na you are doing the right thing and you are getting the best advice.
I think you can look at mentors as a blueprint. Kung gusto mong magtayo ng bahay, di ba?
Yeah.
And someone have a blueprint exactly how you want your life to be, yung bahay mo. Just borrow that blueprint, borrow their knowledge para less mistakes for you. Ano ang isang bagay na makakapagpabalik sa'yo sa Pilipinas?
Actually, Zach, if nga living permanently in the Philippines, wala na. Kasi I'm over 60. All right? And in New Zealand kasi, healthcare is free. So, pag nasa Pilipinas ako, at knock on wood, may mangyari, kailangan marami kang pera. But in New Zealand, it is free. And that is also a concern kasi syempre medyo nag-age na tayo, di ba? So, priority of course now is health and lifestyle. And I don't think I can manage the traffic kasi hindi ko na kaya mag-drive sa Pilipinas. I tried driving when I was there. Baka ma-aksidente ako kasi magsisignal ako, biglang may sumusulpot na mga tricycle, mga motor eh. So I don't think I can handle the lifestyle anymore. And I want a less stressful life. So New Zealand has that. And at the same time, I still want to be very active. Right now, I'm still doing the business. I do a lot of traveling because of the business. Kasi sa Pilipinas, retirement age is 60. So yung mga kasama ko, mga kaibigan ko doon, they're all retired. So they're enjoying their lives already. Pero I don't see myself, not doing anything. In New Zealand, retirement age is 65. But this is my own business, so I can continue working as long as I want. As long as I'm capable of working, di ba? So, yun ang priorities ko kasi. I still want to be very active because I want to help a lot of people. And that I can do if I am in New Zealand.
Tito J, 10 million pesos to move back to the Philippines for good. Wala nang balikan. Will you take it?
Uy, very exciting yan, 10 million. That's a lot of money. And syempre sa Pilipinas, marami kang pwedeng gawin dyan. That's gonna go a long way, di ba? Especially if, let's say, retirement, dami mo pwedeng gawin dyan, di ba? But at this stage kasi, syempre my concern is, my health, my lifestyle, and at the same time, family. My family, nasa New Zealand kami. So, 10 million will go a long way. But I'm looking at, my priorities. It's not all about money. All right? It's also about happiness, where your heart is, where your friends are. So for me, money, hindi dapat yun ang main factor. But it's how I want to live my life. And I'm after good health. I want good environment. And where my family is. So, dun ako.
Tito J, thank you for being on the show.
Zach, thank you very much for getting me here. It was really a pleasure meeting you and having this meeting with you now. And I wish you all the best and all the luck in the world.